So please be rest assured, we are trying to do as fairly, as liberally as possible. Nitin, you had a question.
Udit, I did want to thank you and the Director General, Seema, really quickly before
you can call me Pratik. Seema.
Okay.
Yeah, actually, thank you because I have to step out for my 1:30.
Yeah, so we actually
come back to you.
Padmaja, being in the trenches, there's some really commonsensical, practical things that become unnecessary roadblocks. We'd be happy to document those to you based on our experience because we've done this in a few states. And ultimately, it comes in the way of actual work. And so thank you again for being receptive to these ideas.
Thanks, Seema. Thanks for joining me if you are in India or US. I don't know, but thank you so much for joining me.
My query is more fundamental. So my query is more fundamental. So I really hear you saying about something like Uttarakhand FOF matching the amount of contribution or investment which
that's the maximum value. Yeah.
That's the maximum. So how does it really work? So are you really looking at that as a co-investment, right? That you want? Also, I hear some of the terms like empanelment, right? So are you becoming investors like any other investor in the AI, or are you trying to really run this more like a parallel program in which you are kind of co-investing along with the fund? So some of those things I wasn't really
okay. Let me just be very clear around it. See, the government has a corpus of 200 crores that they're willing to do that, right? For that, they're willing to empanel AIFs, right? The empanel.
Become investors, become LPs in 5, 6, 10 AIFs?
Yes. Okay. Yes, absolutely. Become LPs in all the 5, 6, 7 AIFs that they're onboarded with. Now, all of these AIFs will be onboarded based on an empanelment which is already there in the RFP document. Please go through it, you'll realize that, right? We'll onboard. So there's a minimum commitment that you have to do, there's a maximum commitment that you'll have to do. So that we have a right healthy mix of AIFs that are there. So that's one part of it. We will be LPs to you. So once you imagine this, you find a deal, you start, Uttarakhand, you want to invest a certain amount of money, you just say, this is qualifying for all these deals, etc., etc., the government of Uttarakhand. So based on the overall listing, on our side letter and our subscription agreement, we will transfer you the money, right? So that you can invest. There's a period, etc. It's as simple as that. We will be LPs to you. It is your decision again.
This would also be there in the RFP, and then I'll reach out to you separately also for any further clarifications that are required.
Correct.
That is something. Okay, sure. We touch base.
So I'll take probably 1 or 2 more queries maximum, so that after that, please do connect to us, and we'll be more than happy to get back to you and schedule as many interactions with us. Shubham, sorry, you had a question.
Yes, actually, it's just probably a follow-up question to what Nitin has asked earlier. What happens in a case where the company is probably outside Uttarakhand, and for them to probably move to Uttarakhand or set up the base in Uttarakhand, they would rather see commitment come to them from the fund before they can do those operations, and that can be 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, right? So how does UK Fund of Funds commitment to the fund work in that case?
So, Shubham, I think so. We'll need a couple of discussions around this. Let me just be candid around it. We will need a discussion, and these 10 days, that's something that we have allocated for these discussions. That's one, because these are some of the practical issues that come up, and I have personally, help startup fundraise and helping VCs to invest in startups with their own scouting mechanism. I know these kind of questions that might come, and every VC will have their own philosophy, or AIF will have their own philosophy. So in that case, I will schedule, please do schedule a discussion with us, so that there will be a time foundation. So, even before we are signing a term sheet where there's an actual commitment, I think so, the owners, owners cannot be on the side of the fund where the startup is really pushing the VC to say, show me the money, only then I'll move. It cannot be that, right? But even, it can't be a situation where the startups are taking a VC for a ride, that they're only moving to Uttarakhand just for money. Otherwise, they would rather be somewhere else. So I don't think so. That would be very conducive environment. That's my first view on it from a very practical point of view, because I know how startups behave sometimes. They'll move from one city to another just to handle more money. I mean, we have seen a few cases where a single startup has gotten registered in multiple states and with the central government just to get some grants and some funds out of them and probably exited. We don't want that situation around, for sure. So we'll probably have some barriers around it.
Can you take one more comment or suggestion, Udit?
Please, I'll take the last one.
Great. So my name is Ryan. I'm the managing partner for Transition VC. We are a fund focused completely on climate tech and energy transition. So my question was, again, Uttarakhand has been hit by climate tech challenges, right? The whole climate change issues that we have. From a government point of view, right? So there are ways to obviously attract startups and build solutions that the state needs and the country needs. From a government point of view, also apart from just capital, sure, we would invest, you all would match. Is there any other support where they can do pilots or with the companies registered in their own manufacturing companies or solve for their climate challenges or top 3, 4 or 5 challenges that Uttarakhand today is facing from a climate change point of view? Can we build like a program around it? Because if, say, we become a beneficiary or even if we don't, right? So that's one thing that I have a thought. Okay, what can we also tell the startup that this is a great opportunity for you to solve for this problem, and then showing the world that you've solved problem for Uttarakhand and replicate that in different parts of India and the world. So that could be very attractive. And second, my question is on the timeline. What are we looking at the timeline point of view? Because like for us, we can discuss separately because we are almost on the verge of final close. We raised almost all our funding. But this is very interesting from a climate change solutions point of view. So would love to explore how we can structure that.
Ryan, it's a very interesting question. I would say from the government side, we are very open to partner with such startups. In fact, just last year, you know that we are a state which hosts the Char Dham Yatra. So we require health tech support a lot, especially at Kedarnath, Badrinath. So we have a health tech startup and the state partnered with this startup to ensure that the health needs are catered for all the pilgrims in Kedarnath and Badrinath. So the climate tech startups that you are mentioning, similarly, the environment department can easily partner with those startups. Obviously, it depends on what the startup is bringing on the table, but the government is very keen and open to entertaining such ideas.
Ryan, just let me tell you something that how we're going forward again. We want to be a complete ecosystem integrator when we are looking at it. That's our first vision, right? Not just funding, we are also trying to do the facilitation from the supply side of it, right? So that's why we have UHub. So all of these elements, in terms of innovation, etc., and this would be, you will see this rather quickly rather than later, right? More quick than later, where you will see a lot of interaction coming. That's one of our focus sectors. You will see a lot of supply side challenges also being issued, and obviously then it can be worked out with the various departments, whether it in terms of pilot projects, preferential procurements, etc., etc. That's all to be explored. Let me just tell you, it's not a complete thing. There have been several pilot projects across various sectors that have been taken up, but some more can be taken, more can be done, and that's something that we'll take up as part of a system integration. Not particularly relevant for this call, but yeah, thank you for the question.
So happy to also engage not just from an RFP point of view, but to structure a program with UHub from a pilot point of view, right? Also, what we could do is there could be some startups which are early and we think they have potential, and we can then ask them to work with UHub, demonstrate some success, and when they have done, it's a win-win, then we can come in and make an investment as well. So it's usually a longer-term engagement. It's never like we met someone and make an investment in a month. So maybe working with the government around that, doing pilots, and then maybe taking them, making them a beneficiary for this. So maybe building structures around it. And final question, again, maybe not exactly relevant to the RFP is, are you also personally investing outside the RFP, or the entire capital is to be invested through AIF only? No, in the sense that UHub is also investing.
No. UHub is something in the future. We are looking at in the future, not now, probably 6 months to a year from now. We are not looking at it. That's a very tentative timeline. That's not immediately, right? That's one. Second, all of this corpus will be invested through AIFs only. Let me just be very clear on it, right? Government will not want to lift their own finger to invest this money. We are out of it. We are having you guys as experts who've been doing this in the market, and we want you guys to partner with us with this. I'll probably take just last question in the interest of time from Rukam. Hi, Deepak.
Hi, Deepak here from Rukam Capital. So just a very simple question around the deployment. Since you mentioned that Uttarakhand element has to be there in all the investments.
Yes.
Right? So since we are a Cat 2 and we operate as a blind pool, right? So with each investment, which goes into a startup, so be it in Uttarakhand or outside the state of Uttarakhand, there will be some element which will flow from the capital which we will get from Uttarakhand Fund of Funds. So how are we like? Is the expectation that, let's say, if we get a 10 crore commitment from Uttarakhand Fund of Funds into our fund, that 10 crore has to completely go into Uttarakhand based startups?
The expectation is not just 10 crores. I'm saying the overall corpus that you have also committed for getting this amount. I'm talking about that corpus. So so imagine a scenario where you are planning to invest. Again, I'll take the same example I took with Padmaja. If let's say you are committing 15 crores that from your fund to be invested in startups with Uttarakhand, and for that you want 10 crores, we are looking at this 35 crore pool to be invested with Uttarakhand. Please understand, and it will be taken on a drawdown basis on every deal.
Okay.
Right?
Understood.
I hope I've removed any ambiguity around it.
Yes, that's great.
Right? It's not just for that intro, just for that pool that you're committing for this. And it's on a deal and a drawdown basis.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. One last thing. So what we'll do is, Som, if you can plug in the email ID again on this chat, so that I've already shown this in the presentation on this chat, so that anybody who wants to connect to us going forward can immediately connect to us. And Som, if you can also share your number, I think so that would be very helpful in terms of coordinating. Prateek, any closing remarks before we close this interaction?
Thank you, Udit. I think it was a great discussion to start with, and looking forward to some great responses from you guys. We have received tremendous positive response on UVF. In fact, you all attending this session on such a short notice is also a success for us. So we are looking forward to more such positive responses and your feedback, so that we can tweak the RFP accordingly, and we'll again mail you the details, message you the details. The RFP is available on the website. You can go through it properly, so that all your questions can be answered through that as well. Looking forward. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, everybody. Have a good Friday and a good weekend. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you everyone for joining in. I have shared the email ID and my number, so you can reach out to me, and we will also look forward to have one-on-one discussions on the suggestions which you have given to us. And once again, thank you so much everyone, and a very special thank to Director General Sir for taking out the time for this meeting, and all the participants and thank you.